Coming up, Kevin Klose has his review of Bluezoo at the Walt Disney World Dolphin. Coming up next. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode number 640 for the week of August 19th, 2013. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. You can receive a shipboard credit up to $600 when you book your next Disney cruise vacation with Dreams Unlimited Travel. To check out all the specials and discounts they have on Disney cruises, be sure to visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, live. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi, Kevin Klose, Teresa Eccles, Julie Martin, and producing this week for us, Craig Williams, along with associate producer Sean Thompson, back in the production nook. Dustin West has the day off. He's out at the beach or doing whatever he does when he's alone with other people.
Okay.
I have a correction for you. In your opening for Dreams Unlimited Travel, you say our shipboard credit is up to $600. It's actually up to $1,000. We've changed our shipboard credit promotion structure, and now people can receive up
Glad
to...
I'm glad I knew that.
It's only been a couple years, but that's okay.
All the promotion on the site has been saying $600.
$1,000.
Okay.
Do you have a costume change when you go out?
I don't know. I don't know what I was getting coffee. I don't know what I did with my other glasses. These were sitting on the bar, so I grabbed them. So
He doesn't know
I think
where
my other glasses are in the office.
he doesn't know where he left his bifocals.
It's next to his ear trumpet.
But Dick Van Dyke drives a Jag at 87. I would like to reference something we did in the last show. Mm-hmm. 4 of the spaces on this Italy trip have been spoken for in the minutes since we did our last segment.
Wow.
So if you're interested in going, I would act.
Cool. All right. I had asked Kevin to take a look at a restaurant that is one of my favorites. I'm really hoping that he liked it. It's Bluezoo over at the Walt Disney World Dolphin. And Kevin, tell us about your experience.
We made a reservation fairly easily. There didn't seem to be an issue. I don't remember what year Bluezoo opened, but this is my 3rd or 4th time there, and my opinion has not changed since the very first time I went there. It is exactly the same thing. In my opinion, Bluezoo is very good, but it's ridiculously overpriced.
It is very expensive. It is. I'll give you that.
I mean, ridiculously overpriced. I can eat... And in my opinion, is a far superior meal at Bull and Bear for less.
Seriously?
Yes.
Because I thought Bull and Bear was slightly overpriced.
It is.
It's very overpriced. This is more expensive than Bull and Bear.
Dang.
Bull and Bear being the steakhouse at the Waldorf Astoria.
Correct.
In Bonnet Creek.
John and I went. We also went with John's assistant, Kathleen. So there were 3 of us that had dinner. And I'm going to start with the price. Dinner for 3 was $270.
No discounts, no tables in Wonderland. None of that is available.
Alcohol?
No
None.
alcohol. Kevin had a Diet Coke and Kathleen had a Southern sweet tea or something weird.
Dang, that's a power bill. That's a phone bill.
Sweet tea is not weird.
It is weird.
Something weird.
It's very Southern.
Well, what did you have?
We each had an appetizer, and we each had an entree, and we ordered a couple of the sides. I'm going to start out. First of all, my meal was ridiculously expensive, but you asked me to do this, so we kind of went all out. We started with Kathleen had a soup, clam chowder, which she described as tasty but watery.
There's a picture of the clam chowder the guys are putting up now. Again, flavorful, but very
for the
The
thin.
clam, right? And little
Yeah, that's
Yeah, there are
crackers?
actually clam shells in it also.
with actual clams in it. Those were little puffed pastries. What were they?
Little pillows.
Nondescript.
Kind of tasteless, yeah.
Yeah.
The soup had a nice flavor to it, but if you're looking for a thick, rich chowder, it's not. It was more brothy than that. John ordered the scallops. It was Here it is. It's someplace.
Were
It
the
was
scallops on fire?
No, that's not the right picture. There we go. One back. There you
Scallops
go.
in the mist.
What the heck happened? Was there an
We'll
explosion?
get to that one in a minute. but-
it was 2 scallops on top of pieces of short rib.
What's that little hole in the middle? Like it's gonna blow
think it's
smoke or
just the,
something.
I think it's an onion.
onion.
Oh, okay,
Bad
okay.
picture on my part. It was a little dark.
Everybody seemed to be really excited about this. I thought the scallop was very flavorful. I got a rather tough little piece of short rib, and it was kind of like scallop and beef jerky.
I thought it was delicious, but what was the price?
It's like a little
believe
robot.
It was $18.
Whoa.
Two
Yeah.
scallops and 2 pieces of beef.
Yeah, that's expensive.
That's a little pricey
That's
for
expensive.
that little.
They ever still have there's a shrimp and grit appetizer on there?
They do the Low Country jumbo shrimp with grit.
That's what I always have. It's so good.
That's $15. We also had a tuna tartare.
Ooh, yum.
Now,
That's actually
wait, there you go.
there it is.
Now, the tuna tartare comes with this fancy sauce, and the sauce
smokes.
It was garlic aioli, and it was frozen with liquid nitrogen. So it was garlic aioli ice cream, which they laid on top of the tuna, and
then
it
he poured
dissolved.
right. Then he poured liquid nitrogen over it. That's what the smoke is. We should also have a picture of it after it was
Put out?
put out.
Oh
was- it
my!
was- it
It's
was
like
a-
an egg exploded.
Well, I was going to say it looks like popcorn.
It looks like the bottom of a movie theater floor.
This was delicious.
complete with 3 little green dots of liquid. What the heck?
Wasabi.
That's wasabi.
Ooh, yum.
This was delicious. I
like-
thought this was great, but again, it was very expensive.
Presentations.
That was
everything, right?
$18.
That looks worth $18. Those little
However,
scallops did not look
The
like they were worth
amount
$18.
of tuna
Yeah.
is this big.
That is deceiving.
That is
picture.
deceiving. It's about this long and maybe twice as wide as this pan. I'm guessing there were 2 ounces of tuna.
So it's a single serving.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
not to share.
Appetizer, not a share.
Right.
And we shared everything.
We did.
Made sure
Everybody got
had
to
a
try
bite.
everything.
Got-
So
What
we could
is
talk about
the crumbly, cheesy looking eggy thing?
it is a garlic aioli
Just explained it, dear.
that they poured liquid nitrogen over, so it was kind of like garlic ice cream.
It was cool because when you had it, it sort of was chilly, but it melted in your mouth. It was very delicious.
weird ice cream, the Dippin' Dots stuff.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay.
Now, we had a waiter. I don't even remember his name. All I can tell you about him is that he has had his sense of humor or personality surgically removed.
What he kept saying all night, something that was very funny. That he served us as if we couldn't pay for the meal. Like he took our order and he was like, "Okay, sure."
That's how he treated
Oh,
us.
he
like
didn't
we didn't
say
have
that.
money.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm
but that's
thinking
how
he
he
said that.
acted. And he said to me, "Would you like a cocktail?" I said, "I'd like a Diet Coke." And he went, "Okay." And I thought, I'm really sorry.
he-
I've interrupted your real
He
job.
acted like we couldn't afford it.
Humorless, flavorless, absolutely. And he kept looking at his watch. So I thought, we're spending a lot of money here. Back off, Boogaloo. I'm staying as long as I want.
Wow.
The next thing we ordered was a beet salad.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Sounds gross.
That is it right there.
It was very good.
It is my opinion that this was the best thing I ate all night.
The smear of beet. Something
Looks like something died.
Yes, it's a skid mark.
crawled
Of,
across the plate. I love
it's
that.
a skid mark of beet. But it was delicious, and it had a little bit of goat cheese in it. The salad dressing was great. This was actually a big portion.
That does look good,
Shared
though.
this. The beet salad was $15. So again, this is not. I apologize. $14 for a salad. We then went on and ordered our entrees. Kathleen had. What did Kathleen have, John?
Yeah, the
look at dressed
Monkfish
and undressed.
special.
How did you do
Right, we have a little.
How'd you
You can
do
see what
that?
I'm looking at.
This is a piece of monkfish. It was what they called the
It's just fish, simply
right,
fish.
Simply fish.
Is there a plate or is it just on the table?
No, it's a plate there. It was white plates on a white tablecloth.
Oh, okay.
And,
This is called simply fish.
Simply served.
and you had a choice of several different kinds of
And then
fish.
go to show that full screen again, please. And then go to the next picture, please.
And the next picture is with the crab meat sauce on it.
Oh, I thought it exploded.
He comes over and he
I thought
puts
something
a little,
ate its way from the
Yeah, they
inside out.
pour that
They poured
on after they
nitrogen
put the
over
fish
it and then
down.
it exploded.
Kathleen said to him, I would like my sauce on the side. I would like to decide how much I put on. He took the ladle and spooned it over and he said, it looks better if I do it.
The little emo dude did
Oh,
that?
no
There was nothing
way.
emo about him.
No,
He was a
there's nothing
big
emo.
guy. This was just an unfriendly sucker.
I would have been like, take this back and give me my fish with my sauce on the side.
However, the fish was delicious. The sauce was delicious. It was great the way it was. So, I mean, she didn't complain after the fact.
Oh,
but it
she's
was
too
just-
nice. I would have.
It was
He would
She
have
can
been
be
wearing
not
it.
nice.
He
to
would have
me,
been
it was
wearing
just
it.
a matter of, I told you what I wanted, and you've decided that you know better than I
Yeah.
do. So it worked out, but it was still, it's a misstep.
And how much was the Simply Fish?
The Simply Fish was. Simply Fish was 40. I apologize, $39.
Whoa.
Now I don't know if you can tell from this picture. This, if you hold
4
out your
ounces,
hand,
maybe?
maybe the size of your hand without your fingers. It was a piece, a deck of cards.
And this is no sides come with it.
It's $39
Piece
just
of
for
fish
the fish.
on a plate. And again, delicious. But
It looks greasy.
no, it was actually really,
Just
it was
shiny.
cooked perfectly. The fish was beautiful. The sauce was really well done.
She had it blackened or what?
Nope.
Because it's so dark
It's
on
just
top.
grilled.
Oh.
Can we see the next picture? That was mine. Now, I went all out.
My.
He's so cute.
I ordered the 2-pound Maine Cantonese lobster. This was lobster tail that had been fried and tossed in a sticky soy glaze. This is a lot of lobster. However, on the plate, there are 2 stalks, 2 bunches of bok choy, which were barely cooked, and underneath the lobster head and the greens, there's a pile of unseasoned, undressed, unsauced white rice. There was no sauce to go with it. The lobster has been battered and fried, and as I said, a sticky soy glaze over the top of it.
I like.
I thought this
type
was
of-
fantastic. I
This
thought
was-
Okay,
it
that
was.
sounds good.
This was $60.
Yeah, but I thought he won. I thought he had the best tasting meal of the night.
Now, we always do that when we go on a restaurant review. Who, if there's other people with us, who won? In my opinion, Kathleen won tonight. She got just a piece of grilled fish. This was $60. And I said to the man, am I going to get the whole lobster? Well, we put the lobster head on the dish just for effect. I said, well, you don't have to do that. I don't need the lobster head. And he put it down on the plate and he said, they wanted it on there. So it was one of those things that it was just like, it didn't matter what you said.
Right.
You were getting what he thought you should get.
And one more thing about Kevin's dish, it was kind of like, thank God he got this, because once you see my meal, I would have gone home hungry. I would have stopped at
No,
McDonald's.
wait, don't go to a next picture, please. They had an entree that was the chef's special. It was $45. And it was that monkfish that Kathleen had wrapped in prosciutto,
Spanish ham, but the same
Serrano
thing.
ham,
Serrano
prosciutto. And, okay, can we go to the next picture? Now, do you see that little thing up at the top of the screen with a little bit of red on it? And do you see this little thing down at the bottom? Those are John's pieces of fish.
This was my dinner for $42.
No, it wasn't.
Have you ever? Do you all know how big a 50-cent piece is?
Yeah.
That's how big those pieces of fish are.
They were
What's
medallions.
the other stuff?
That's a 4-ounce lobster tail that came with it, and it was 2 medallions of monkfish wrapped in this crispy ham.
What's the big empty place? What did you eat? There's something missing.
That was where my
Like
hopes and
feta
dreams
cheese?
were. There's some rice, some sticky, almost risotto, and then the white stuff in the middle. I'm not sure what it was.
It looks like some kind of cheese.
Such wit. Oh my god.
Now, this is not an oversized plate. This is an average-sized dinner plate.
Right,
Lots of little green leafy things.
right.
And
There was a lot of little side. There's
A
I don't
lot of
know.
black space.
You can't. It was a lot of black space. In the top next to the monkfish, you can't really see it, but it's literally 3 peas. 3 peas and a little.
What's the white stuff in the middle? Did you say?
I don't remember what
Like
it
a
was.
feta cheese or a,
No,
does
it
look
was
like
not
cheese.
cheese. Nope.
It was more of another
Powdered
thing,
sugar?
Another thing they did with liquid nitrogen.
Right. It was like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Something exploded and it's cold.
And how much was my chef special?
$44, $42.
And
Did you
I
eat it
was-
all?
It had 6 seconds, and then reached over and was taking my lobster
Oh, yeah.
and Kathleen's
Eat it all.
fish.
Corey would have. He would have had to eat all
I
that
was
food too.
so. He put it down. I was so disappointed. I was like,
But did
this
you order
is-
sides too to go with all
Yes,
this?
We
there's
did.
more
We're
pictures.
gonna show
and how
this
much
one.
was that plate?
40. It's either 42 or 44.
I think it was 42. So thank God Kevin had the lobster, else I would have stopped at McDonald's on the way home.
That is.
And his, I mean, like, it really didn't look
It's
like
not
a whole
even.
lot of
It's
lobster
not
to me.
even
It was a
displayed
lot.
pretty.
No, it's not
It's not
displayed
even.
pretty.
It could. I mean, it's like blop with the spoon, and here's some green, and there's a big
Mr. Personality was very excited about this dish.
He was the one who was like, "Oh, the chef special is my favorite." So
We had a baked potato with lobster and cheese. Now, I think it was 14. Oh, Kathleen got grits. Those were Southern grits.
low
Oh
country.
my God.
Low
And
country
bacon in them.
country. Yeah.
However, Kathleen likes grits and found these to be sorely lacking.
They weren't
She
true
turned up her
grits.
nose and said, "These aren't grits. This is polenta."
Oh wow.
And those had bacon butter on top of them. I thought they were good because it
Bacon
tasted
butter.
like you could put bacon butter on anything, right?
Yeah.
To make it magical.
Right. She found these to be lacking. These were too smooth. This was more of a very smooth. I don't want to say paste, but they were.
Polenta.
They weren't gritty enough.
No, they weren't grit. She said these are not grits.
How much were the
The
grits?
sides all ranged between $12 and $14 or $15.
Wow.
But give me specifically the
I
grits.
things. I'm hungry.
I actually
That looks like fries.
side
and-
Like zucchini or something.
white grits were $10.
So that plate of grits was $10.
I apologize. I went overboard on. They were between $9 and $12. This was $9.
How much does
Is there
grits
meat in
cost?
that, or is that just
Like if you were to
grits?
buy a package of
Do you
grits,
see those black
probably like $3.
spots?
Yeah.
Those are bacon.
Okay, all right. It looks runny.
We also got a the haricot vert, which was tempura, and we had the seasoned French fries.
What's the Harry? What?
Green
These are
beans.
green beans.
Oh.
Green beans.
And they've
say
been
green
dipped in
beans?
tempura batter and flash fried.
As,
They're good.
As should be done with all vegetables.
Okay, we sent these. We actually didn't send these back, but when he came back at the end of the meal and asked us what we thought, I said they're undercooked and underseasoned. They're hard as a rock. They're flavorless. And he said, "All right, I'll take them off the bill." But we didn't eat them. They were almost inedible. You couldn't bite through them. They were so
green
tough.
beans?
Yes, you could see
Really?
that everything else had been eaten. The French fries were fantastic.
The French fries are shake and bake fries.
Everything
They
else
were-
was eaten. And
Hold
then,
on, let him give the description.
The shake and bake fries were chicken fried French fries with grated Parmesan crusted garlic.
Yeah, you
Mighty
can tell they're
good.
not regular French fries.
They were mighty good.
Very good.
However, they're $9.
And like you said, he came to the table and he could see everything else was eaten except for these.
And he said, "What did you
beans."
think of the beans?" And I said, "I don't want to. I was not impolite, but I didn't. There was no sense being friendly. He just wasn't. I said they're underseasoned and undercooked, and they're inedible.
So
They're
he
just-
took them off without us asking, which I
Right.
thought was a good move.
Right.
He
That's
could've-
a popular item now. I mean, you get that in a lot of places. Some variation of that.
Right.
And usually they.
You all bake potatoes at home, right? If you bake a potato on a rack like a restaurant does, you get a crispy skin outside and a white fluffy thing. Have you ever baked a potato in what my mother used to refer to as an aluminum foil coffin? It gets to be moist. There's no
Yeah.
crispness to the skin. It turns dark. Well, we had a stuffed potato that was $9 with lobster, broccoli, stuffed cheddar potato. And it had been cooked in an aluminum foil coffin, and it was dank and moist and brown. And if you can imagine a lobster stuffed baked potato, half of it being left on the table, that tells you how good it was. It was.
Looks big.
It's actually not. That's a bread plate.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a small plate.
okay.
That's a plate about probably maybe 5 inches square. So it's not a big baked potato.
That's how I
For
was taught
$10.
to bake
$10.
potato.
In the foil? Yeah, that's how my in-laws do it.
If you like it, it's fine. I personally don't. I think if you're going to pay $10 for a potato, it should be roasted on a rack and you get that crispy skin on the
You
outside.
pop it open.
Right. After that, we had dessert.
Ooh.
These were truffles, and they were seasonal truffles. And one was filled with parsnippany, and the other one was filled with
Parsnippany?
molasses snot, and the other one was filled with soy nuts. And he just went on and on and on, and then walked away. And you think, what am I tasting? These also look to be huge. These are about as thick as 2 quarters stacked on top of each other.
Oh, my.
So these are not. He also told us there was going to be 9. Kathleen pointed out to him very quickly that he couldn't count. She said, "You do know? Did you eat one on the way over?" And he just looked at her with total disdain. And we laughed. He didn't. So they were okay. They weren't.
They were okay. I mean, we ate them. They were chocolate. They were fine.
I think
but they
those
weren't
were
anything special.
I
$11.
don't like anything about chocolate but caramel.
Yeah, I just
One had a
I thought
caramel
it was simple.
filling. It was good. It was just nothing special. You know, going out to a fancy meal and you're spending this much money, you want your dessert to blow you away.
The next picture should be Kathleen's dessert. She got. Maybe we don't have it. She got the chocolate trio. It was a creme brulee, which they poured alcohol on top of it. And apparently they poured a lot because they set it on fire and he told her not to blow it out, to let it burn off, and that would cause the caramelization. I'm going to guess that sucker burnt for 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh my!
A little bonfire at the table.
Can I eat it now? No, Kathleen, don't eat it.
This went on. It had like a chocolate Napoleon with it, which didn't appeal to me. And then there was sort of a frozen hot chocolate. It was very, very liquid, but it was made with very dark, bitter chocolate. And she took one bite of it, and I think her words was, "This is not to my liking. Here, you eat it." So,
But she just didn't like the dark chocolate, or she just
no.
didn't.
Of the three, the creme brulee was the one that got eaten the most after the fire died out. But here's my opinion: the food is good. You get a ridiculously small portion unless you're willing to spend $60 on lobster. And it's my opinion, and I know this is going to be heresy, you can get just as good food at Bonefish Grill for a quarter of the price.
Right, but there's no bonefish on property. So, I mean, if you're not driving,
So what's the draw? Why are people going there?
Well, location is certainly one of them.
I think it's also named. It's Todd English.
Todd English.
Famous
Okay.
chef.
I also think this is an expense account restaurant.
Yeah.
It is. It is. That tends to be the case at the Swan and Dolphin. They're big convention hotels. And, I think the prices are a little higher because you have so many people using expense accounts. I've eaten at Bluezoo a few times now. And as a non-seafood eater, it was a surprise to me that I've enjoyed it as much as I have. I agree with you. It's ridiculously overpriced. But there is something about the atmosphere. There is something about, the level of service that I've gotten. I've always had great service there.
I've never had a complaint before. This man was just unfriendly.
It might have been an off night for him,
Right,
too.
it could have been. And that's why I haven't mentioned his name.
Right. So I've always had a great experience at Bluezoo. But like you said, $270 for 3 people who aren't drinking.
Would you recommend this to a family of 4 as a place to go on their vacation?
No, not for a regular family meal. No, I wouldn't recommend that to any family.
We were
for regular.
surprised.
This is an occasion restaurant.
We were surprised. The family walked in, 2 adults, 4 kids, ranging in age from, I would guess, 16 to maybe 5. And I thought, they're going to be shocked when they see the prices and what they're going to get to eat. One of the things this restaurant is famous for is their dancing fish. And I took a picture of that. This is one of those things where
look at him dance.
the fish are slow roasted and cooked very slowly. And they bring it table side and they fillet it for you.
I think this is
tableside.
this grill is proprietary. And it's a circular grill, and the fish is sort of cantilevered over the top of it. And as it moves around, the fish spins. And this is in the bar area when you first walk in.
I was going to get
It's
this.
the whole fish, like with the head
Right.
on.
He brings the whole fish over. He cuts the head off. He takes the bones out. I was going to get this. I was excited.
Yeah,
to
it's
get
like
it.
watching an autopsy at your dinner table, which is really what I go for those special meals.
It's already been cooked when
Yeah.
It's cooked on this very slow roasted apparatus where this fish spins and the whole thing goes around in a circle.
Well, you love to watch the
It's
spine get
like-
pulled out of a formerly living thing,
It's like going to a
Eat
pit.
it.
It's like a pig roast, except a fish.
Except for fish. And I was disappointed that he talked me into that special because I really wanted to get this. I saw someone else
I
get
can't
it.
even
Really
believe you
good.
took his advice after how off-putting he was.
Yeah, it sounded really good though. It was fish wrapped in bacon.
But was it good?
The little tiny bit I had was great. I
It just
thought
wasn't very big.
I thought everything except for my dessert and the green beans were very good.
You should try to do it yourself at home. Get some fish and wrap it in some bacon.
Probably could do it.
Did you guys get a chance to look at the bar menu? Was it the same as the regular menu for
The
the
bar
restaurant?
menu had a private event, so there was nothing going on. No, I didn't get a bar
Okay.
menu.
Sean, Corey and I usually, when we're there, we're just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And we sit at the bar. And usually they give us the regular menu.
Oh, okay.
I know the bar menu, usually, I've only seen drinks in it. But Yeah, usually it's a
I didn't
regular
realize there
food
was a
menu.
separate menu for the bar. I didn't even think
I
of
would
that.
tell you the food was good. That this was not, and the food was not bad, except for those green beans. I didn't think any of it was bad. It was all quite tasty.
We like it.
We told you what our personal opinions were. I think $270 for dinner, where you think to yourself, I didn't get a whole lot of food. I find that off-putting.
It's not value dining.
No, and I can, as I said, I can eat at the Bull and Bear for less and come out with stuff to take home.
Yeah.
So I just found this. It's been you asked me to do this when it first opened, and I was so appalled at the pricing the first time I went. I ordered nothing but sides. I couldn't spend $45. I've gotten over that.
I was going to say, John remembers those days fondly.
One of the things I do want to point out is that if you eat there, they will validate if you're going to park. So if you're coming from another Disney resort and you have a car, that's
And
a
I
little
do
bit
have
of
to
a
say that the hostess and the rest of the staff were lovely.
Yeah.
We just had a creep.
We've always, I've always had outstanding service.
Right.
I actually remember leaving my wallet. I left my wallet there, and didn't realize it till the next day.
Oh, my.
And when I called, he asked me to describe the wallet. Called me back 3 minutes later, and said, "We have your wallet. The waiter found it, tried to get you, but you were gone, and we'll put it right in the safe. It's been here all night, and but we have to have security come down and get it. And then you have to go up to security and
Identify
you
it.
know, and he was great. Just so I've always had an outstanding experience, service wise, there, especially if there was any problem with the food. Because I did have an issue once when I wasn't happy with how my food was cooked, and they took care of it right away. So
What did you have there? Did you order steak?
I usually do. Yeah, I'll usually go with whatever their non-seafood items are. So yeah, I've done the steak. I've done. They had some pasta. They always have their specials, and there's like some pasta dishes.
And I'm
Usually have a
willing to
chicken
lie. I
dish.
was willing to. I mean, I didn't make a fuss over this. I'm willing to chalk this up as a bad night. I actually just think it was a personality difference. He just was. I'm sorry. A waiter that stands there and looks at their watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit much. That's a bit much, but
Maybe he was just having a bad day.
So my opinion hasn't changed. It's good, but you're going to pay for it.
all right. Thank you very much, Kevin. That will do it for our review of Bluezoo, and that will do it for this segment. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone, and remember, stay out of the damn lakes, please.